Check it. What's up, Tesla Columbus community? We are en route to Cars and Coffee, and we are going to see if we can let the computer drive us there, engaging from our garage. And here we go. Don't hit the junipers. Don't hit the junipers. All right, we faded the junipers. That's our first win of the day. As you know, whenever I have a ride in the car that's more than, 10, 15 minutes, I like to throw my Apple Watch Ultra on the charger. This car, most electric cars, not just a Tesla thing, have USB-A and USB-C ports all over the place. So we can charge while we are sitting, which is the goal, because we want to be using the watch and utilizing the data that it collects all other times. That includes sleeping. Sleep is one of the most important times. If you're wearing an Apple Watch or any other wearable and you're charging it overnight and not sleeping in it, you are greatly wasting its potential. Not a sponsor, but joining us on today's video, Premier Protein. What's up, Premier? I'm going to try to remember to look back and keep the camera level as well. So this drive is just under 8 miles. Well, I didn't realize it was that far, to be honest. Looks like we're going to arrive right at 10 when it starts. It's called Columbus Cars and Coffee. I've never been to one. I've seen it online. And I'm going to today's to see a friend's fully refurbished, newly restored 1963 Chevrolet Corvette split window in baby blue. She's one of the best looking cars I've ever seen. And Ken has restored her. Hey, Tesla Model S. There you go. Little S making a turn in front of us. Ken has restored the split window and is going to be showing her off today. I think this might be the first time. Don't quote me on that. In any case, schedules worked out. Didn't have anything for the kids on the schedule, so I was able to sneak out and decided to film. So we left the neighborhood successfully, no issues, made a right onto Powell Road. And now it looks like we're taking a mile to turn left on Riverside. It's a pretty common path that I drive a lot, and I would not expect any problems from Ego here. If you're familiar with the area, the Columbus Zoo is on our right. What up, Columbus Zoo? I was just there yesterday. Living next door, we obviously have a family pass and go pretty frequently. It's kind of wild and surreal to think about. There's a polar bear. There are actually multiple polar bears within about a mile from my house, like from my bedroom. It's like it's not out of the realm of possibility. There is a non-zero chance that I would have to defend my family from a polar bear attack someday, or a lion attack, or a cheetah attack, or a giraffe attack. Giraffes can be vicious. You know what I'm saying? Would you want to defend against a giraffe? Like how big those things are? Like, come on. Like, where do you even start? If you're unarmed and you wake up in the middle of the night and find 3 giraffes in your backyard, and they're using their paws and their faces to smash your windows in, how do you defend your children? You get your children, you get your wife, maybe you get them out of the house, you can run faster than the giraffes. But say there's 3 of them, you have all exits covered. I mean, I have firearms, so I guess that's one answer. But in this example, we're unarmed. We were sleeping, we went to the bathroom in the middle of the night, the giraffe arm poked through the window and got us. And now, we got to escape this giraffe. I don't know, man. I'm not quite sure how I would handle that. I'm gonna have to think about this one. Premier Protein, if you offer sponsorships, you could sponsor me to contemplate if a giraffe were to attack us in our backyard in the middle of the night. Now, the reason I picked giraffe, I think, too, is because like polar bear and lion and cheetah, like there's no defending. It's just like if the polar bear finds its way to my backyard, I think I'm a goner. I could only hope, I think, to maybe sacrifice myself at that point, and in the hopes of filling him up so he doesn't eat my family. But yeah, polar bears are gonna just polar bear. Here we're making our left, protected by this green turn arrow onto southbound Riverside. Don't expect any problems. other than we need to speed up, and we are. Very good. Now there's a lady in our pocket on the right, and she sees us. There we go. Ego speeding up a little bit more. I just didn't want to put her in an awkward spot where she's blocked in by this Jeep in front of us and then blocked in. Hey, I am. That's that beeping sound right there. Most of you will know is the car yelling at me to pay attention, apply slight force to the steering wheel, which I was doing. I'll be done with Premier Protein in just a minute. These things are really good, in my opinion, only when they're cold. I got one out one time and then didn't start drinking it right away. I was doing something with the kids or something, and then came back to it a little bit later, and it was like not room temperature, but it was like faded from cold, from refrigerator cold, and it was just not pleasant. I did not enjoy it. What do I enjoy is the Wake Up playlist, available free for all on Spotify and YouTube. And this is my playlist that I've carefully curated over multiple years. I actually think I started this playlist. Maybe it'll say on here. I'm going to guess 2017-ish, 2018 maybe. Started it actually for some good tunes for my mom to listen to. Something to kind of help her stay positive. And then my buddy Chad, R.I.P. Chad Thomas Lewis, who we lost last January. My best friend, he had, like me, had gone through some peaks and some valleys, and was in a low point at one point. I started adding some tunes I thought he'd like. Of course, ultimately, all of it's for myself as well. We're up to 280 songs. Very unique, very eclectic. You might go from Tupac to the Beatles, to give you an idea. What's going to start us off? There we go. I mean, a beautiful, crisp Saturday morning, Central Ohio. Leaves are turning green, flowers are turning pink. Is there a better anthem that we could play? I mean, that could randomly come on? Ryan Shaw, if you're watching, do a little band together, a little jam band. Sean drums, DeCastro on a little rhythm, maybe a little lead guitar. Still working on vocals. Question is, are you a rusher or are you a dragger? I honestly don't know that about myself. I know I'm not in time, but I don't know if I'm a rusher or a dragger. Maybe someone watching this video can let me know here in my tabs. 2, 3, 4. Crush the Premier Protein. Thank you. If you guys are watching, hit me up for a sponsorship. This is a weird question, but I brought a coffee. The event is called Cars and Coffee, but I didn't top my coffee off before I left. So will they have refills there? I think it's highly likely that they would. I'd say it's like minus 180 if we're going to lay American odds. But are those refills free? I would almost say even money on that. Maybe go like, minus 105 on either side of it. Vigo navigating us into the right-hand turning lane from Riverside onto Emerald, making a right. There's a pedestrian waiting. Saw him, no big deal. He was not in our path. And now we are straight on Emerald Parkway for a mile. Only 2.5 miles from our destination. So it said it was 8 miles from the house. It doesn't feel that far. I think it's close to where there's some pickleball courts in Dublin. Looks like there's a beautiful blue Model S up there. Or is that it might be a 3. So we've got the coffee. Definitely going to need a refill. We're about even money on if refills are free. Flashing yellow. Let's see how Ego does. It's a new one for us. We've gone through flashing yellows, but not this flashing yellow. Oh wow, she stopped. She's not good. We're gonna disengage. We're gonna report it. Ego failed miserably at a flashing yellow light. Flashing yellow urgent failure at a flashing yellow light. Let's learn from it and get better. Thank you. Wow. So that was a bit disappointing. That's 12.3.4. Coming to basically a complete stop in the middle of Emerald Parkway, which will get your head chopped off if you do it at 7:45 on a Monday morning. Thankfully, there were no cars around us, so I was allowed to let that play out. And here we go, another flashing yellow on Emerald Parkway. Let's see what we got. Ego already slowing, going. Okay, wow. So then it hit that one, handled it perfectly. Thought for a second it was slowing, but it didn't. It just went right through it. So very strange, very strange. So that's an interesting case study where within, a quarter mile of each other, there's 2 flashing yellow lights. It failed miserably at one and then just did fine at the other. I am applying slight force, man. Sorry, I don't want to get another strike. As a tester who films, pays attention, I like to consider myself pretty safe. If you don't apply force to the steering wheel when it asks, it'll get all mad at you, and then eventually it'll say, FSD is not available for the rest of your drive. And then when you stop that drive, you'll get a big nasty note on the screen saying that you received a strike, and X amount more, you'll be suspended for I think it's like a week. Honestly, I from what I've seen online, I think I've gotten 2 strikes the whole time I've had this car, which is weird, like that they don't reset or whatever. You'd think that after a certain amount of time they would start to fall off, but in any case, we do not want to go a week without FSD because we rely on FSD. We enjoy FSD. This morning we were leaving the neighborhood at 7:45 and turning east into the blaring sun and an unprotected left, heavy traffic, and FSD was crucial there. Of course, I could have done it by myself. Everyone else does, but I had this system assisting me that just made it a lot easier. And actually, along those lines, on that drive, I told my wife that I'm not even going to refer to it as full self-driving supervised anymore. It should just be called, instead of engaging full self-driving, we should think of it as engaging advanced life-saving safety features. And if you think of it like that, why would you not engage it every single drive? It's like, do I want to drive, or do I want to drive with the advanced life-saving safety features engaged? And what I mean by that is that if I'm just driving normally and something crazy is to happen, I don't know if this car is going to react or do anything to save me. It's a safe car. If we get hit or if it hits something, we're fairly safe. But I prefer to not hit anything, right? Prefer to not get hit. With FSD engaged, or with the advanced life-saving safety features engaged, it's much less likely, that something is going to happen because the car is also going to react, going to drive itself. So, and this we're driving exactly by the pickleball courts. This is Kaufman Park Emerald pickleball courts. Got to imagine they're absolutely jammed right now. Yep. Back to that thought though, why would we not want the advanced life-saving safety features engaged on every drive? We're still paying attention. We're still monitoring. I have my hand on the wheel. I have my foot over the accelerator and over the brake. But if something crazy were to happen, if a drunk driver were to come out of nowhere and, otherwise would have hit me because I can't see it, with those features engaged, this car is going to react. And I'm not certain it would react without those features engaged. Oh my goodness. I think we found cars and coffee. There are a lot of people out there. So we are arriving at Midwestern Auto Group. And not sure how to get in or where to park. Looks like a pretty cool event. Probably going to be some pretty cool cars. Not a disengagement-free drive. As you saw, we failed miserably at a flashing yellow, which is kind of silly, but 10 seconds later, we then passed the flashing yellow. But a pretty good drive nonetheless, you know, from our house to Midwestern Auto. And let's see
Now turn
if there's
left.
anywhere else I can park. Maybe I can just park and walk in. Wow. Well, I am going to exit from FSD and I am going to try to find somewhere to park and then just walk in here, because I'm certainly not showing off my 2021 Model S, Model Y, at a place with a 1963 split window. Wow, there are a lot of pretty wicked cars lined up over here. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do. In any case, we'll pull over and cut this clip and figure out a way to get into this event. In the meantime, if you have any questions or thoughts on the flashing yellow, please do let me know. Appreciate you watching, and I'm becoming a little more optimistic on the software. It's not that I was ever pessimistic, but it is clearly showing that it can handle the vast majority of day-to-day type stuff, which is, you know, the vast majority of all driving. So we will see if we can find a safe place to pull over and hit stop, check out the Wake Up playlist, check out our other videos, and you want to come check out Columbus Cars and Coffee if you're in Central Ohio, because this is pretty incredible, to be honest. All right, thanks for watching. Peace.